Back to an instant reaction edition of the Night Report podcast. I'm your co-host Mike Broadbent. Joining me once again is my co-host Richie Schneiderite. Richie, you were a bit of a clairvoyant earlier. You said, I bet you as soon as we're done recording this, we're going to get an announcement about the assistant coaching hire. And just like most things, once you hit, stop on the recording, an hour later something happens.
Yeah.
We have our final assistant for the basketball staff. Steve Pikiell today hired Marlon Williamson, who previously was an assistant coach at Central Michigan for 2 years. Before that, he coached at Long Island University for 4 years. Before that, he was an assistant coach with the University of Pittsburgh under Jamie Dixon for 2 years. He also coached at UMass, and he was the head coach of a well-known AAU program in Detroit for almost 10 years after his playing days were over. You've been on the phone all afternoon talking about this guy. Tell us a little. Yeah, tell us what's going on with this assistant coaching hire and kind of the down low on who Marlon Williamson is.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, at first glance when I saw the hire, I got a text and it's like Marlon Williamson, and that was it. That was the only thing the text said, and I'm like, okay, who the fuck is that? Started Googling, and I'm like, still don't have anything. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. And I was like, Marlon Williamson basketball if you Google, and it pops up, and I was like, oh. And then you start looking at start looking into his resume, and you're like, all right, it makes sense, blah blah blah. I saw Pitt, and I just didn't even glance again, and I was like, yeah, whatever, Pitt, like cool. And then I went to the imaging to our website, our partnership with them, to go pick up a photo, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Brandon Knight. Oh, he coached at Pitt with Brandon Knight. That makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, so the more and more I read about this guy, the more I'm kind of a little like intrigued and a little more excited about this hire. I think it's a good hire. All these guys have AAU ties now. That's just the way the world works. You hire a guy and you probably get the prospect out of it. Now that wasn't the case for UMass when they first hired him. I don't know if they actually ended up getting anybody, but he did train several notable NBA dudes. Draymond Green probably being the most notable. But big Detroit, Michigan guy, tons of ties to that area. He graduated from Costech High School, which I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but it's a school that produces a ton of talent in Detroit, and he has really good ties to the area. Coached at the Family AAU program, it was called, and it wasn't just Draymond. It was Jordan Crawford, Joe Crawford, Chris Douglas Roberts. If you're a Nets fan like myself, all those names probably make a lot of sense to you. I think Malik Harrison and James Young as well. These are all top-ranked guys in their classes, so that's a good starting point. He was also a player at Youngstown State, so he's although he's from Detroit, Michigan, he's pretty familiar with the PA area. He was one of the better players for them too, and of course he was all defensive team for his college days. So of course Pike loves that. So you haven't really found an answer for the offense yet, but you do get a pretty good coach, it seems like. And finally, last but not least, there was the Brandon Knight ties, which I mentioned before, but I was being told that he's also pretty close with a certain somebody named Omar Cooper. Who
is he?
Here we go again. I gotta go look up the chart, like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it's like this. Omar Cooper is the former, or I think he's still the head of Athletes of Tomorrow. Now, Athletes of Tomorrow is Ace Bailey's AAU program. Omar Cooper is also notably in charge of the basketball division for the Lifestyle Sports Agency, aka NIL agent, but I think they're considered something else, like an instructor or some shit. Now, how does Rutgers tie into all this? Let's figure it out. Mr. Cooper played at NJCU, Newark native. He's the father of Sharif Cooper, who's now in the NBA, blah, blah, blah. He has a sister who's a current WNBA free agent / Tennessee alum / also Newark native, and his sister's godfather is Brandon Knight. That's how we get to the connection. Okay. So Omar Cooper is close with Marlon Williamson, who's close with Ace Bailey. So in turn, it's all turned back to recruiting, and here we are.
I mean, this goes along with some of the what you've heard throughout this coaching search, that they're going to keep it quiet. it's
Mm-hmm.
probably not going to be a name anyone expects, and that Brandon Knight was going to have a big impact on the decision for the assistant coach.
Yeah.
Now, this kind of all goes in line with what you heard. I don't know if we mentioned that on the pod or not, but I know that's something that you've talked about several times.
In regards to the Brandon Knight having a hand in it?
About Brandon Knight having a say in the hire, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is not. I'm not going to say it's Brandon's program, but Mike, do you have the tinfoil there? I know you're in a new place.
New place, no tinfoil. It's been thrown away. We got to get new tinfoil for this house.
That's it, man.
But I can put on the invisible Reynolds wrap here.
Conspiracy theory. Brandon Knight's the head coach in waiting. That's why he has all this power. Is it true? I don't know. Pike's like, we did the math the last pod, 2 pods ago, whatever, 3 pods ago at this point. We do a lot of pods, damn.
Yeah, time's a flat circle. It's been a long few weeks.
Anyway, I know there's a significant age gap. I think Pikiell's already 56, 57, something like that.
He's 55.
55, close enough, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in reality, maybe he does coach till like his predecessor, like Jim Calhoun, his Jeez, I can't even think of the word. I've been sitting here for too damn long, man. Yep. It's like that stupid meme, and it's like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
Anyway, you get the point. I don't know how long Pike's going to end up coaching for, but he is on the younger side still. So I mean, ideally, I think he wants to fill that shelf he has in his office with a Final Four, NCAA championship. Yep. But maybe you get that all in 2024 when you have Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. But that's besides the point. But I wouldn't be shocked if Brandon Knight was the head coach in waiting. Kind of. You can just keep giving him pay bumps. The money is already more than most mid-majors, I would say, at $650. I think it's actually $700 this upcoming season, which started in March, so it would be $700. And I heard a rumor he might get another pay bump. So,
really?
I mean, yeah, Hobbs leaves, you got some money to fuck around with. So, I think Hobbs was set to. I actually have the contract details right in front of me. Hobbs. Okay, so I'm sorry. He's set to make $650 this year. In year 2 of that deal. Thompson made $165, so I would probably give him a little bit of a bump too, because he's proved more than worthy of being number 2 in this coaching tier system, whatever you want to call it. And Hobbs was set to make $360 he made $360 this past season. He was set to make $380, I believe it was, for this upcoming season. So you got some fuck around money. You probably give half of that to each of them and say, here you go, and well, I guess you got to save the money for Williamson too. But regardless, I was told there was, going back to the hire in Williamson, there's 6 guys on campus that interviewed. I don't have the names on them specifically. I'm working on it. But I don't even know if I want to post those, because you post one and it's like,
yeah, probably not a good idea.
It's like, hey, it's like, I could have had her. It's like, I could have dated that Angelina Jolie in high school. And it's like, coulda, dude, but you didn't. So now she's famous. Like, fuck you. As you can tell, I'm kind of tired. But yeah, six guys on campus for interviews. This hire makes a lot of sense in terms of you can recruit the Midwest a little more, because not only do you have Detroit, Michigan ties, but you also play in Michigan every single year for the most part. I don't think that's a guarantee, but I think it's just about.
Between Michigan State and Michigan, I'd have a hard time believing you don't play at least one in Michigan.
Exactly. And end of the day, you get another reason for Ace Bailey not to go anywhere. So that's always fun. I mean, when you have the potential number 1 recruit, you do whatever he wants. This is his world, and we're just living in it.
Yeah, no, you can't get here fast enough. Just kind of go. This hire doesn't surprise me. I think it always seems like the most obvious choices are never the assistants that are hired. Like Schiano's different in terms of a head coach. Like that was really the only reasonable option we had at the time. But the assistants, time after time, like it's funny when you go through like the Monday morning quarterback on the assistant coaching hires. It's like, I should have known. Like we had heard that he had influence, and we should have looked at who he coached with and who he seems to be. Who he seems to catch up with. Like that's like the same thoughts with like the Schiano Soraka hire. Like we should have probably seen that one coming.
Yeah, that was a bad one. This one too. I'm thinking like from what I was told is that it was all like Pike's guys, like Pike connections, this that, and I did a deep dive into Pike's fucking coaching career, and I found every name possible and then posted it. And now I'm at the point where I'm gonna have to do the same for Brandon Knight and probably other assistants for other sports as well. So
Yeah.
that's always fun. But but yeah, this is a. The more I read about this hire, the more I kind of like it. I think it's a pretty solid hire. He's a couple fun tidbits real quick about Marlon Williamson. He is not only close with Omar Cooper, like I said, he also has this like really famous photo of this suit that's like 3 sizes too big, which I did already tweet at him and asked him if he was going to wear it. It was his first year of coaching. He said no shot already. He replied, so that's always a good sign. I have been told since then the suit has been donated. So
Oh, damn.
yeah, we're not going to get to see that. I think he messed up by not keeping that. That's a suit and a half. What was the other one? Nickname Smoke. Did I say the nickname?
No, you didn't say the nickname.
Okay, his nickname is Smoke. I don't know the reason behind it yet. I'm still kind of learning everything. And he's well known as a pretty good recruiter. The Pitt guy said that when I talked to the Pitt guys, they said he didn't really recruit many Detroit guys to campus, but those were also Jamie Dixon. Is that who it was?
Yeah, Jamie Dixon.
Yeah, those were his like final couple years too. So there's that. I don't know if that. Whatever. I don't know. I'm a little bit more excited just because this guy has a ton of experience. He's coached
Yeah.
throughout D1 at a couple different schools at different levels, and he's close with the right people. Like that's all it comes down to at the end of the day. And recruiting wise, I don't know who he's recruited to Central Michigan because I don't know how good Central Michigan is or how good they were. But there's a guy in the portal from Central Michigan who I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it looks really simple. But I'm gonna let you do it.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Jesse Zarzuela. He averaged 16.3 points a game last year, 2.8 rebounds, 2.7 assists. He shot 40% from the field. He shot 36% from three on almost 7 attempts a game. He shot 83% from the line. Michigan or Central Michigan wasn't good last year. They were 10-21 overall. I think they were in
That's
the
about right.
bottom 20 of the net, or bottom 20 of I think it was the net. So not a great year for Central Michigan.
Yeah, I'm looking now too. So originally went to UTEP in 2018, redshirted, then so he qualified for college. So this shouldn't matter. But then he went to a JUCO his second year, third year Missouri State, West Plains, whatever the hell that is. Fourth year Coppin State, where he averaged 14 points and 3 rebounds. Pretty good. 37% from the field, 29 from three. That's rough. And then this past season, his numbers weren't bad, but he only played 17 games. Only started 7 for Central Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm looking at. So that's an interesting thing. I know he's ranked technically. I think it's Bustin Brackets actually had it up. They have him as one of the top available guards of the portal currently. I think he's number 4, but this was 4 days ago, so Cam Spencer's obviously ahead of him. But he actually. So the thing is he won't graduate until summer, so they're kind of waiting for that because he did transfer. I don't know 4 times, but you can't get a 5th waiver, you know.
Yep.
But I will tell you that Pittsburgh, Arizona, and Oregon are all very involved. Oregon just hosted him recently. Michigan's very involved as well. So this could be a kid that I'd probably reach out to pretty quickly and try to get in. He's a 5th-year senior. Went for 20 points in 4 straight games, including 29 against Buffalo. I don't understand why the fuck he only started 7 games, but whoever the head coach is over there, you got to check yourself a little bit when this kid's putting up numbers like that and you're not starting them. But I mean, it seems like he's a pretty explosive scorer just based on the limited tape I found on transfer tapes on YouTube by searching his name once.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'3", 180, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some decent size, but he's also listed as a point guard. I don't know if we want another point guard.
Yeah. I was gonna not really dive into it, but like look at Pikiell's lineups over the years. It's always big guards for the most part, whether it be Gio, Caleb. I know Caleb kind of shifted more towards that wing role. Paul, Last year was Paul and Cam for the most part. With Caleb, that's just a 6'7" point guard, 6'4", 6'3" Cam Spencer, and then a 6'6", 6'7" Caleb McConnell. I think that's actually a legitimate 6'7" now, based on the combine. But yeah, so I just don't, I can't imagine him going with like a Noah Fernandez who's 5'11", 6 foot, and then putting this guy next to him who's 6'2", maybe 6'3". It's just it's not your typical Rutgers backcourt. So I guess you could technically, but I just don't see it happening. I think that they're probably going to go target a different guard, probably one that's a better scorer because his numbers aren't phenomenal. They're just Like when you look at Cam's numbers at Loyola Maryland, it's like they were pretty damn good, and then
Yeah.
he got even better. So it's like you probably want someone of that caliber. Who's that? I don't know. We're still kind of waiting and seeing. But now that this is done. They got the hire done. They technically still have an off the court hire that they're still trying to figure out. But there's no rush in that one. I think you probably just hit the portal pretty hard, and then you'll probably see these guys on the sideline of every single Dylan Harper game this summer. And you get him, and it's like, okay, now see that shelf I was talking about before. Start dusting it off.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw the clip today. I don't know if you're a big golf guy or not, but if you saw the clip today of Brooks Koepka's girlfriend or wife or whatever she is.
I think I've seen her before, but I don't really follow golf that closely.
So, like one of those funny accounts, like Breezy Golf on Instagram, posted, and they're like, "Where's Miss Koepka? Where's she at? Why wasn't she there to greet her husband?" Everyone's like speculating, and she posted a TikTok, and she's like, just dusting off the trophy shelf, and it's like one little shelf, and then like the camera zooms out, and there's just like every trophy there, like possible that he's won.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, well, there you go. That's gonna be Pike's office. Someone's gonna be dusting it off. So I don't know. Steve Haynes, start dusting.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was me.
I'm looking at the portal now. There's a few interesting names. Well, there's a few interesting names in here, and I don't know how realistic they are. I'll just go right from the top here. So, do you remember Mongolian Mike, who ended up at Dayton?
Mike.
Yeah, so he's still in the portal. He's one of the highest ranked guys available, according to Evan Maya. He's 13th overall in terms of all transfers out of like 1,600. I saw that he was potentially looking to go professional.
He did declare. I just don't know if what the deal is there.
Mm-hmm.
He bounced around a little bit in high school too. I know he played in Jersey with International Sports Academy, which it's coached by the former head coach of Caleb McConnell at Spire Academy. But I think he ended up finishing his career at Prolific Prep, which Moat Mag and, Rutgers. And here we go again with this whole fucking plotting the dots and shit.
Mm-hmm.
God. He had 1 year, though. He had 5 points per game. Like, don't get me wrong. I liked his game. I thought he was decent, but it's more of a forward, too. I think he'd fit in, like, that Mag 4 role. So that would be one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and he did get an invite to the G League elite camp. He worked out. I don't have any more information on whether he signed with like an agent or anything like that. Another interesting guard prospect that's in the portal still is Andre Curbelo, who is from the New York City area. Nope.
Fuck that kid. He's the biggest prick in high school ever. Like, no offense to him, but offense to him.
Femi Udukale, I believe his name is, from Seton Hall, is in the portal. He's from Brooklyn. He averaged 7 points a game this past season. Not a great 3-point shooter. He transferred in from Pittsburgh. And then Ian Martinez is a guy who just transferred out of Maryland. He was a guy that had a similar, like, shocking transfer out, like a little bit reminiscent of Cam Spencer. If he's following along that path, he's probably not going to appear. But he is a guy who started at Utah, and last year he played in 35 games. He only started 2, but he averaged almost 6 points a game. Shot 40% from 3 on about two attempts a game, 80% from the line. So not like a huge impact guy, but 6'3", 185. Just speculating here. Just again, it's not the deepest group that's still remaining, but you can't really expect it to be at this point.
No, it's really tough right now. I know they definitely want a four. I'm assuming with Cam gone, they probably want a guard because
Yep.
I can't see that guard combo being Paul and Noah. I think
Yep.
Paul starts that three role, kind of takes over where Caleb was, but it's a completely different three too.
Yep.
A completely different three as well. I can't say 3-2 because that would confuse everyone. Um, so yeah, that's an interesting one. I think you got to get a guard. I just don't know who's available. I know like we
Yep.
send like names back and forth just to like see, oh, this guy, maybe this guy, but I don't know. They've obviously been looking into like guys like Jay Powell at the four and stuff like that. Um, Mongolian Mike, because I can't pronounce his last name. It sounds like he might get picked in the draft based off
That'd be
5 points
wild.
per game. Like that's kind of crazy. I know
Through
he did
Dayton.
he
Yeah.
had a G League camp, but like that's insane. Like he's definitely not going back to Dayton. He said though, and he said he's not sure, but he wants to pursue the professional route. He also compared his game to Tyrese Halliburton, and I'm gonna be honest, kid, I don't see it, but sure. Um, so he's a little loopy too, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know where they're gonna go. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be tough. And the portal is picked over at this point, and no one new can enter. I mean, obviously, grad transfers if you want to go tamper a little bit and do what Georgetown did, or I don't know, maybe Georgia Tech a little bit. They don't tamper though, right? No.
Well, this is a great segue because the Gavitt Games were announced today, and guess who Rutgers is playing in the Gavitt Games at the
Ooh.
rack?
Hello, Ed Cooley.
Georgetown. Hello, Ed Cooley. Hello, maybe Cam Spencer. Although Cam might be getting more money than even Georgetown can afford. 'Cause it sounds like there's
Yeah,
quite the bidding war that's brewed up for him. We initially thought it'd be right around six figures, like
sounds like it's
high
right.
five figures, low six figures. But it sounds like he's blowing that out of the water at this point.
Yeah.
A bunch of blue bloods hopped in, including UConn, Kentucky, Miami. What else are you hearing regarding that?
Who was it? You just said Kentucky, Miami, UConn. UConn's kind of new to the party, but they wanted a guard for the longest time. They were close to getting that kid who I can't remember his name, went to Kansas instead last minute.
Timberlake.
Uh, yes, Timberlake.
Yeah.
They wanted him badly. So the thing is he also wants to start, and he wants to start on a good team. The Georgetown thing, I know they're not a good team, but this is more so Cam wanting to go closer to home as well. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
factor. Um, we did mention in the last pod he did try to commit to Maryland previous time in the portal. So I wouldn't even worry about them too much because I looked into it and they don't have a current scholarship available. Now they do have a kid that graduated that they could kind of be like, all right, see you later. But he's also a
Mm-hmm.
starter, so you probably don't want to do that. But I wouldn't put anything past Cue Ball over there, Kevin Willard. I can say that because I'm allowed to. Um, I am also a cue ball, a fellow cue ball guy. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't see it happening. I think, yeah, Miami's got a checkbook that's just this guy literally fucking destroyed his company for. Which respect, if
Mm-hmm.
it works, it works. If it doesn't, like
Yep.
you're screwed. But that's besides the point. But yeah, no, I mean it's a tough call right now to see where he ends up. I still think Georgetown's the favorite. I think he'd take less money to go over there. And I did listen to our buddies over at the Rutgers rant, and Fonz, I got to tell you, man, this kid Spencer, I know everyone hating on him right now, but he could play at the high European level. He could go to the Euro
Yeah.
League and play and make some serious money. So it's not like this money is just his one time payment, is it? Yeah, it's a nice upfront payment, but he can go to Euro League and shooters will get paid no matter where they're at. And when you shoot at a click of 34 or 43% from three, 44% from the field, and you had a slump,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit, man. Like, I think we didn't give him enough credit of how good he
Yeah.
was. Without him, that team's not even close to sniffing the tournament.
Yeah.
They were on the bubble.
Dude, it's hilarious seeing people coping on the boards, trying to rationalize like how losing Cam is actually not that big a deal. It's like, well,
Huge.
we literally don't win like 4 or 5 games last year if we don't have Cam. Like at
He
least four or
literally
five.
won you one. Like,
Yeah,
literally.
he hit like 2 buzzer beaters in a row. The guy, like, what was the game? He shot like 6 of 7 from three in the first half just to keep us afloat. We ended up, I think, scratching the game out. Was that Wisconsin?
I can't remember. You
Anyway,
might
he's
be
just
right.
like at points he was the only guy on offense who had a pulse. So to say that he's not a
Yeah,
big loss is just
Wisconsin.
absolutely insane. I
Six,
couldn't
6 of
believe
10.
reading through some of the people talking about that.
Like 6 of 10 from 3 is kind of crazy. It's the only reason they were afloat in the Hofstra game. They went 6 of 11 from 3. Like
Yep.
6 of 7 from 3, 6 of 5 of 7, 5 of 7, 4 of 6. Like this guy, yes, did he chuck a little bit? Yeah, he had some questionable shots, but he still shot 44% from 3,
Yep.
44% from the field. Like, and he
It was
had
like
a
a top 5 season
slump.
offensively ever for Rutgers in terms of efficiency and in terms of 3-point shooting.
And he had a crazy slump where he stunk. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't good. Like 3 point game, 3 point game, 4 point game, 15, 9, 3 again. Like, that's a crazy bad slump against some shitty teams too. But he bounced back and had a hell of a year. Like,
Yep.
I hate to say it, you're gonna miss him.
Yeah.
If he goes to Georgetown, it's kind of cool because you get to see him and you get your little revenge game.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Like Kentucky reached out. I forgot about
Oh
Kentucky
yeah.
guys
Yeah.
asked me for a quote on what he's like as a player, and I just keep saying like he's a great shooter. Like can hit from anywhere. I know he doesn't like he can doesn't really do great at creating his own shot, but he can if he needs to. He's slow. He's not fast. He's not like
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's Luca, but like he plays like a weird style like Luca, and he can kind of dribble the ball up too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing Rutgers lacked. If Rutgers had a point guard that could dribble last year, that it's a totally different Cam Spencer you're getting.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Got to. I mean, how many? What would you say his like percentage of like open looks was from beyond the arc?
Beyond the
It had to
arc,
have been like
oh
a
yeah,
third of his looks were open. Everything else was
something like
contested
that.
or coming off a screen.
Yeah, he was really good at just catch and shoot too.
Yeah.
And he was great at that actually. I should say. I know like you said the Copen thing, but I keep thinking that stupid fucking frog meme.
Yeah. The
The
copium
copium.
frog. Yeah.
um, yeah, it's this is there's no way around it. There's no beating around the bush. It's fucking May 22nd right now, and you just lost your best player for next year. It's a kick in the
Yeah.
balls. It's what it is.
Yep.
So
But there's still time to find a replacement. You're not going to find a guy who replaces Cam 1-to-1. Like that guy's not out there right now. And if he was, we couldn't afford him. So I think you just kind of gotta trust Pike. You gotta trust that he can cobble together, his Cam's production in 2 or 3 guys instead of one. And you gotta hope Cliff comes back. It sounds good right now, but
promising.
that
Yeah.
hasn't been finalized yet. Um, you gotta hope Mag comes back at 100% early in the year, maybe around December. I don't know if that's likely or not, but that's these are the things you got to kind of if you're telling yourself a story about how the season goes well next year, these are the kind of things that need to work out.
Yeah, that's it's gonna this went from like I wanted to say it was probably a tournament team to now I'm kind of like let's see what's going on here. Now it's a little it's getting a little fishy now.
Yep,
Side note, Papa Conte,
going to
Pittsburgh.
Pitt. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, not. I guess it's a little surprising.
not ideal, but
We'd been hearing he's going to end up at an ACC school for about a week now, and I just assumed it would be Georgia Tech, but no,
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
yeah, big old fuck you, Carl Hobbs.
Yep. And just kind of one reminder, the Gavitt Games take place each year in the middle of November. So between
Mhm.
probably the 13th and 18th would be when we're playing Georgetown. They're always night games. So
Yes.
that would be, I don't know. I mean, can you imagine what the environment's going to be like that night if
Oh,
Cam Spencer does go to Georgetown?
yeah.
Holy crap.
That's gonna be fun. That I don't want to say. The only thing that sucks is like I can't base it off last year's net ranking because last year's net ranking was what 240 for Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not going to be very good this year either. So I think Ed Cooley's a good coach. I think he'll get them some wins that they're not supposed to. But I hate this for the schedule. Like I was hoping to
Yeah.
get someone better and kind of screwed there a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see. But that's kind of all we got. You guys sucked all the content out of us today. We got 3 YouTube videos that went up today. We got 2 podcasts we recorded.
Yeah.
I need a beer. I
Tell
will.
me about it. I haven't left this chair all day, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck could happen next? Like,
You
Dylan
got
gonna commit now? Like, do
you
it. I
got you,
dare you. I
you got
fucking dare you.
you got your poop sock in. How you been handling that? Just on the ground.
Yeah, right on the ground. It's I blame the
Got a
dog.
Gatorade bottle. Just feeding the dog.
Just blame. It was the dog that did that. Like, it wasn't me.
Holy crap! Again.
Yeah, I don't know why she keeps doing it. It's crazy. Why is it always under your chair? I don't know. She just likes to hang out with me.
Yeah, that's just where she's comfortable going. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's really it, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
You
Surprising
get
amount of news that broke in the last couple hours between the Gavitt Games and the new coach. But
yeah, let's take a break for a little bit, please.
all right, guys. Well, for me and Richie, this has been another edition of the Night Report podcast. Signing off.